Hello students, today we will start chapter 3, Brief Overview of Python. Students, as you already know, an ordered set of instructions or commands to be executed by the computer is called a program. The language used to specify those set of instructions to the computer is called a programming language. For example, Python, C, C++, Java. This chapter gives a brief overview of Python programming language. Students, Python is a very popular and easy to learn programming language created by Guido van Rossum in 1991. It is used in a variety of fields including software development, web development, scientific computing, big data, and artificial intelligence. Students, let me explain you working with Python. Students, to write and run a Python program, we need to have a Python interpreter installed on our computer, or we can use any online Python interpreter. The interpreter is also called Python shell. A sample screen of Python interpreter is shown in figure. Here, the symbol 3 greater than sign is called Python prompt, which indicates that the interpreter is ready to receive instructions. We can type commands or statements on this prompt for execution. Now, execution modes. Students, there are two ways to run a program using Python interpreter. One is interactive mode and another is script mode. In the interactive mode, we can type a Python statement on the prompt directly. As soon we press enter, the interpreter executes the statements and displays the result as shown in figure. Working in the interactive mode is convenient for testing a single line code, for instance instant execution. But in the interactive mode, we cannot save the statements for future use, and we have to retype the statements to run them again. To overcome this problem, there is the script mode. In the script mode, we can write a Python program in a file and save it, and then use the interpreter to execute the program from the file. Such program files have a .py extension and they are also known as scripts. Usually beginners learn Python in interactive mode, but for programs having more than a few lines, we should always save the code in files for future use. Python scripts can be created using any editor. Python has a built-in editor called IDLE, which can be used to create programs. After opening the IDLE, we can click File, New File to create a new file. Then write our program on that file and save it with the desired name. By default, the Python scripts are saved in the Python installation folder. Students, to execute a Python program in script mode, open the program using an editor. For example, IDLE as shown in figure. In IDLE, go to Run tab and select Run module to execute the program .py as shown in figure. The output appears on shell. Python keywords. Students, keywords are reserved words. Each word has a specific meaning to the Python interpreter. As Python is case sensitive, so keywords must be written exactly as given in the table. Identifiers. Students, in the programming languages, identifiers are names used to identify a variable, function, or other entities in a program. The rules for naming an identifier in Python are: the name should begin with an uppercase or a lowercase alphabet or an underscore sign. This may be followed by any combination of characters like small a to z, capital A to z, numbers 0 to 9, or underscore. An identifier cannot start with a digit. It can be of any length, however, it is preferred to keep it short and meaningful. It should not be a keyword or reserved word. We cannot use special symbols like exclamation mark, @ hash sign, $sign, %sign in identifiers. For example, to find the average of marks obtained by a student in 3 subjects, namely Maths, English, and IP, we can choose the identifiers as Marks Maths, Marks English, Marks IP, and AVG rather than writing A, B, C, D. Such alphabets do not give any clue about the data that variable refers to. Variables. Variable is an identifier whose value can change. Variable names should be unique in a program. Value of a variable can be string, number, or any combination of alphanumeric. Alphanumeric means combination of alphabets and numbers, for example B10 characters. In Python, we can use an assignment statement to create new variables and assign specific values to them. For example, gender is a variable in which the character M is stored, so it is a string variable. Message, again it is a string variable in which the value keep smiling is stored, and price is a float variable in which the value 987.9 is stored. Variable must always be assigned values before they are used in the program. Otherwise, it will lead to an error. Whenever a variable name occurs in the program, the interpreter replaces it with the value of that particular program. Now, this is the program to find the sum of two numbers. Now here, the num1 is equals to 10. So 10 is the value which is stored in the variable num1. Num2 is equals to 20. So 20 is the another value which is stored in the variable num2. Now the result is equals to num1 plus num2. Here value of num1 and num2 will be added and stored in the variable result. Now print result will print the output on the screen. Data types. Students, every value belongs to a specific data type in Python, as you have already read the data types in SQL also. Data type identifies the type of data which a variable can hold and the operations that can be performed on those data. Figure enlists the data types available in Python. Number data type. Number data type stores numeric values only. It is further classified into 3 different types, that is int, float, and complex. Boolean data type is a subtype of integer. It is a unique data type consisting of 2 constants, true and false. Boolean true value is non-zero and Boolean false is the value 0. Variables of simple data types like integer, float, Boolean hold single value, but such variables are not useful to hold multiple data values. For example, names of the months, in a year, names of the students in a class, names and numbers in a phone book. For this, Python provides sequence data types like strings, lists, tuples, and mapping data type dictionaries. Now let me explain you all these one by one. Sequence data type. A Python sequence is an ordered collection of items where each item is indexed by an integer value. Three types of sequence data types available in Python are strings, lists, and tuples. Now let me explain these one by one. String is a group of characters. These characters may be alphabets, digits, or special characters including spaces. String values are enclosed either in single quotation marks or in double quotation marks. The quotes are not a part of the string. They are used to mark the beginning and the end of the string for the interpreter. For example, str1 is equals to hello friend. So str1 is the string variable in which the string value is stored hello friend. str2 is equals to 452. Again str2 is a string variable in which the string value 452 is stored. Why this 452 is a string value? Because we have kept it in double quotation marks. We cannot perform numeric operations on strings even when the string contains a numeric value. For example, str2 is a numeric string. List. List is a sequence of items separated by commas and items are enclosed in square brackets. Note that items may be of different data types. Now, let me explain it with the help of an example. To create a list, we have used the list1. It is the name of the variable, and in this list1, the list of values of different data types are stored, that is 5, 3.4, New Delhi, 20C, 45. Now, in the next line, list1 will print the elements of the list1, that is 5, 3.4, New Delhi, 20C, 45 in square brackets. Tuple. Tuple is a sequence of items separated by commas and items are enclosed in parentheses. This is unlike list where values are enclosed in square brackets. Once tuple created, we cannot change items in the tuple. Similarly, to list, items may be of different data types. Now let me explain it with the help of an example. To create a tuple, we have used the tuple variable as tuple1, and in this the values of value is stored, that is 10, 20, apple, 3.4 and a. Now in the next line, print tuple1 will print the elements of the tuple1, that is 10, it will print 10, 20, apple, 3.4, a in parentheses. Mapping. Mapping is an ordered data type in Python. Currently, there is only one standard mapping data type in Python called dictionary. Dictionary in Python holds data items in key value pairs and items are enclosed in curly brackets. Dictionaries permit faster access to data. Every key is separated from its value using a colon sign. The key value pairs of a dictionary can be accessed using the key. Keys are usually of string type and their values can be of any data type. In order to access any value in the dictionary, we have to specify its key in square brackets. Now let me explain it with the help of an example. We have to create a dictionary. Now in first line, dict1 is the dictionary variable in which the values, keys and the values are stored. Say fruit and apple. See, fruit is the key and apple is the value. So key and apple are separated by a colon sign. Another key is climate and the value is cold. Another key is price kg and the value is 120. Now in the next line print DICT1 will print the elements of dictionary DICT1. So it will be printed within the curly brackets, that is fruit, apple, climate, cold, price kg 120. Now getting values by specifying a key, the statement is print DICT1 and the key here we have mentioned the key as price kg is used here. So it will print the value of the key price kg, that is 20. Now our next topic is operators. An operator is used to perform specific mathematical or logical operations on values. The values that the operator works on are called operands. For example, in the expression 10 plus num, the value 10 and the variable num are operands and the plus sign is an operator. Python supports several kinds of operators. They are arithmetic operators, relational operators, assignment operators, logical operators, membership operators. Let me explain all these operators one by one. Arithmetic operators. Python supports arithmetic operators as shown in table to perform the 4 basic arithmetic operations as well as modular division, floor division and exponential. Arithmetic operators in Python are, now here the operator is given, their operation is given, description is given and example is given. First operator is plus, that is operation is addition. Adds two numeric values on either side of the operator. Example, num1 is equals to 5, num2 is equals to 6. So num1 plus num2, it will add the num1 and num2 value and will print it on the screen. Subtraction. Subtracts the operand on the right from the operand on the left. Now example is num1 is equals to 5, num2 is equals to 6. So num1 minus num2, it will subtract the num1 from num2 and the result will be displayed on the screen. Multiplication. Multiplies the two values on both sides of the operator. For example, here num1 is equals to 5, num2 is equals to 6. So num1 multiply num2 will multiply the value of num1 and num2 and the result will be displayed. Division. Divides the operand on left by the operand on the right of the operator and returns the quotient. Remember, division returns the quotient. Now see here, num1 is the variable in which 5 is stored, num2 is the variable in which 2 is stored and num1 division sign we have used num2. So it will divide the value of num1 by num2 and it will print the quotient only because the division sign is used to return the quotient value. Modulus. Divides the operand on the left by the operand on the right and returns the remainder. So beta, what is the difference between division and modulus? Division returns the quotient but modulus returns the remainder. Now here I will explain it with the help of an example. Num1 is the variable in which 13 is stored, value is stored. Num2 is a variable in which 5 value is stored. So num1 modulus num2, what it will do? It will divide the value of num1 by num2 and whatever the remainder will be there, the remainder will be displayed on the screen. Floor division. Divides the operand on the left by the operand on the right and returns the quotient by removing the decimal part. It is sometimes also called integer division. Now the example of it is num1 is a variable in which 5 is stored, num2 is a variable in which 2 value is stored. So num1 floor division symbol we have used and num2. What it will do? It will divide the value of num1 by num2 and return the quotient without the decimal point. It will remove the decimal points from the quotient and it will return the integer division from the quotient only. Exponent, for that we are using the double star sign. Raise the base to the power of the exponent, that is, multiply the base as many times as given in the exponent. Now here in the example, num1 stores the 3, num2 variable stores the value 4. So num1 exponential num2. So here what it will do, there is the whatever value will be stored in the num1, and it will raise to power that value by num2 and the result will be displayed on the screen. So here the num1, in the num1 the value is 3 and here the num2 the value is stored 4. So 3 it will do what it will do, it will 3 raised to power 4 and it will give us the answer as 81. Relational operator. Relational operator compares the values of the operands on its either side and determines the relationship among them. Relational operators in Python are equals to, operators are equals to, not equals to, greater than, less than. Now equals to. If value of both the operands are equal, then the condition is true, otherwise it is false as shown in the example. Not equal to. If value of the two operands are not equal, then the condition is true, otherwise it is false. Greater than. If the value of the first operand is greater than the value of the second operand, the condition is true, otherwise it is false as explained with the help of the example. Less than. If the value of the left operand is less than the value of the right operand, the condition is true, otherwise it is false as shown with the help of the example. Similarly, there are other relational operators like less than, greater than, less than equals to, and greater than equals to. Assignment operators. Assignment operators assigns or changes the value of the variable on its left and as shown in the table. So assignment operator equals to sign assigns value from right side operand to left side operand. For example, num1 is the variable in which 2 is stored. Now here we have used num2, assignment operator we have used, and num1. So what it will do, the value of num1 will be assigned in the num2 and here num2 will print the value of num1, that is 2. Plus and equals to sign operator. It adds the value of the right side operand to the left side operand and assigns the result to the left side operand. For example, num1 is equals to 10, num2 is equals to 2. So num1 plus equals to num2. What it will do? It will add num1 is equals to num1 plus num2. So it will add the value of the num1 and num2 and the value will get stored in the num1. So here num1 is written, so it will print 12. Minus equals to. It subtracts the value of the right side operand from the left side operand and assigns the result of the left side operand. For example, num1 is the variable in which the value is stored 10. Num2 is the name of the variable in which the value is stored 2. So num1 minus equals to num2. So what this statement will do, it will subtract num1 minus from num2 and the value will get stored again in the num1. So num1 here in the next line, num1 is used, so it will print the value of the num1 after the subtraction. Logical operator. There are 3 logical operators supported by Python. These operators are and, or, not. Are to be written in lowercase only. The logical operator evaluates to either true or false based on logical operands on its either side. And logical operator, if both operands are true, then condition becomes true. As shown in the example, OR logical operator In OR logical operator, if any of the two operands are true, then the condition becomes true. Not logical operator is used to reverse the logical state of its operand. Membership operator. Membership operator is used to check if a value is a member of the given sequence or not. There are two membership operators, in and not in. In operator returns true if the variable or value is found in the specified sequence and false otherwise. Now see in the example, num sequence is the variable in which the list of values are stored as 1, 2, 3. So in second line, 2 in num1, it will check whether the 2 is in the num1 sequence. If it is there, then it will print true. If it is not in num sequence, then it will print false. Not in returns true if the variable or value is not found in that specified sequence, and false otherwise. Now again see here in the example, num sequence is the list variable in which the list of items 1, 2, 3 are stored. Now in second line, 10 not in num sequence. See, it will check whether 10 is there in the num sequence. So 10 is not there in the num sequence, so it will print true. Otherwise, it will print false. Expressions. Students, an expression is defined as a combination of constants, variables, and operators. An expression always evaluates to a value. A value or a standalone variable is also considered as an expression. But a standalone operator is not an expression. Some examples of valid expressions are num minus 20.4, 23, divide by 3 minus 5, and multiplication sign here we have used 7, then within the parenthesis 14 minus 2, 3.0 plus 3.14, global plus citizen, all these are the valid examples of the expression. Input-output statements. Students, sometimes we need to enter data or enter choices into a program. In Python, we have the input function for taking values entered by input device such as keyboard. The input function prompts user to enter data. It accepts all user input, whether it is an alphabet, whether it is numbers or special characters, as string. The syntax of input function is variable name equals to assign, then input, then prompt. Prompt is the string we may like to display on the screen prior to taking the input, but it is optional. The input function takes exactly what is typed from the keyboard, converts it into a string, and assigns it to the variable on left hand side of the assignment operator. Now let me explain it with the help of an example. Here, fname is the name of the variable. Then we have used the assignment operator equals to sign. Then input function we have used, and this is the string which we want to display at the time of entering the information from the keyboard, that is enter your first name. Now what it will do when this statement will be executed, it will give us the message enter your first name, and we have entered Arnab. Then in second line, age, again it is the variable name of the variable, and in this age what we have to store, we have to enter the age from the keyboard. So we have used the input function here, and this is the message enter your age. When this line will get executed, it will first print the message enter your age. Now we enter whatever age we will enter from the keyboard. Here I have entered 19, so this 19 will get stored in the variable age. The variable fname gets the string Arnab as input. Similarly, the variable age gets 19 as string. Students, here is one more function, that is print function. Python uses the print function to output data to standard output device like the screen. The function prints, print function evaluates the expression before displaying it on the screen. The syntax for print is print, then within parentheses we have to write down the value or the variable. So here in the example, print hello will print the hello on the screen. Print 10 it will print 10 multiplied by 2.5, so it will multiply the 10 and 2.5 and the result will be displayed on the screen. Debugging. Students, due to errors, a program may not execute or generate wrong output. The process of identifying and removing errors is called debugging. We need to debug a program so that it can run successfully and generate the desired output. There are three types of errors. They are syntax errors, logical errors, and runtime errors. Now let me explain these errors one by one. First, syntax errors. Like any programming language, Python has rules that determine how a program is to be written. This is called syntax. The interpreter can interpret a statement of a program only if it is synthetically correct. For example, parentheses must be in pairs. So, the expression 10 plus 12 is synthetically correct, whereas parentheses begin 7 plus 11. We have not closed the parenthesis here, is not due to absence of right parenthesis. So, if any syntax error is present, the interpreter shows error message and stops the execution there. Such errors need to be removed before execution of the program. Now, second error is logical errors. A logical error also does not stop execution, but the program behaves incorrectly and produced wrong output. Since the program interprets successfully even when logical errors are present in it, it is sometimes difficult to identify these errors. For example, if we wish to find the average of two numbers 10 and 12 and we write the code as 10 plus 12 by 2, so what it would do? It would run successfully and produce the result 16, which is wrong. The correct code to find the average should have been, within parentheses we have to write 10 plus 12 and then divided by 2 to get the output as 11. Runtime error. A runtime error causes abnormal termination of program while it is executing. Runtime error is when the statement is correct synthetically but the interpreter cannot execute it. For example, we have a statement having division operation in the program. By mistake, if the denominator value is 0, then it will give a runtime error like division by 0. If-else statements. Students, usually statements in a program are executed one after another. However, there are situations when we have more than one option to choose from based on the outcome of certain conditions. This can be done using if-else conditional statements. Conditional statements lets us write program to do different tasks or take different paths based on the outcome of the conditions. There are three ways to write if-else statements. First is if statement. Executes the statement inside if when the condition is true. For example, here the code is given. Age is the variable in which we are just storing the age of a person. So, if age is greater than equals to 18, but students remember, use semicolon to indicate the end of the condition and print eligible to vote. Second is if else. If else statement executes the statements inside if when the condition is true. Otherwise executes the statement inside false when the condition is false. Now, here is the program to subtract smaller number from the larger number and display the difference. Num1 equals to int, input enter first number. Num2 equals to int, input enter second number. So it will check the condition. If num1 is greater than num2, then num1 will be subtracted from num2 and the result will be stored in the variable diff. Else, if num1 is not greater than 2, if num1 is less than num2, so what it will do? It will divide the num2 from num1 and will store the difference, will store the value in diff variable. Now print, here print statement is used to print the difference of num1 and num2. So it will print the difference of num1 and num2. So from the output here, first of all, it will give us the message enter first number. So it will that we have entered 5. Now it will give us the another message enter second number. So we have entered 6. So it will check which number is greater. Either num1 is greater than num2, then the num1 will be subtracted from num2. Else, if num1 is less than num2, so num2 will be subtracted from the num1 and then it will print the difference of num1 and num2. Third is if, elif or else is used dot check multiple conditions and execute statements accordingly. Meaning of elif is else if. We can also write else if instead of elif for more clarity. Now, for example, this is the program to check whether a number is positive, negative or 0. Here, number is equals to int, input enter a number. So, what this statement will do? It will give us the message enter a number, and whatever number we will input, that number will get stored in the number variable and it will convert that number into integer value. Now it will check the condition. If number is greater than 0, then it will print number is greater than, number is positive. Else if number is less than 0, then it will print the message number is negative. Else it will print the message number is 0. So when the conditional statements appear, the Python interpreter executes code inside one block that is selected based on the condition. Number of else if is dependent on the number of conditions to be checked. If the first condition is false, then the next condition is checked and so on. If one of the conditions is true, then the corresponding indent block executes and the if statement terminates. After that, the statements outside the if else are executed or the program terminates if there are no further statements. For loop. Sometimes we need to repeat certain things for a particular number of times. For example, a program has to display attendance for every student of a class. So here the program has to execute the print statement for every student. In programming, this kind of repetition is called looping or iteration, and it is done using for statement. The for statement is used to iterate over a range of values or a sequence. The loop is executed for each time in the range. The values can be numeric, string, list or tuple. When all the items in a range are exhausted, the statements within loop are not executed and Python interpreter starts executing the statements immediately following the for loop. While using for loop, we should know in advance the number of times the loop will execute. Syntax of the for loop is for, control variable, then in, then sequence or items in range. Then statements inside body of the loop. Now this is the program to print numbers in a given sequence using for loop. So here numbers is the name of the variable in which the list of values are stored, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now we are using here for loop for num in number. So num is the looping variable, it is a control variable in numbers. So it will check if num pers modulus 2 is equals to 0. So it will print the number is an even number. So the output will be 2 is an even number, 4 is an even number, 6 is an even number, 8 is an even number, and 10 is an even number. Range function. The range function is a built-in function in Python. Syntax of range function is range, start value, stop value, and step value. It is used to create a list containing a sequence of integers from the given start value up to stop value, excluding stop value, with the difference of the given step value. If start value is not specified, by default the list starts from 0. If step value is also not specified, by default the value is incremented by 1 in each iteration. All parameters of range function must be integers. The step parameter can be a positive or a negative integer, excluding 0. Now let me explain it with the help of an example. Now here the first statement, list range 10. So what it will do? It will print the list of the values starting from 0 to 9. Now second statement is list range 2, 10. Here see, start value is given 2 and the stop value is given as 10. So what it will do? It will print the list starting from 2 and will end at 9. So it will print the values 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. Now in next statement, list range, here all the three values are given: start value, step value, stop value and step value. See here, the step value is 5 and the start value is 0. So what it will do? First of all, it will print 0. Then it will jump up to 5 values. Then it will print 5. Then it will print 10. Then it will print 15. Then it will print 20. Then it will print 25. In the next line, list range, start value is 0. Then stop value is -9 and step value is -1. Now here step value is -1, hence decreasing sequence is generated, that is 0, -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6, -7 and -9. The range function is often used in for loops for generating a sequence of numbers. Now this is the program to print the multiples of 10 for numbers in the given range. Here for loop is used. So num is the variable in range 5. If num is greater than 0, it will print num multiplied by 10 and the output will be 10, 20, 30 and 40.